Chennai. You're watching WION. I'm Sana Khan. This is Reporter's Take, where we look at a story covered by correspondents and go in depth on the issues and what it was like covering it. This week, we said goodbye to Tamil Nadu's Chief Minister Jayalalitha. The 68-year-old actress turned politician died on Monday night in Chennai. Even before the news broke, WION's Jessica Taneja and Archith Seshadri were on the ground. We chat with Archith today, who spent the last few days in Chennai, about his experience. Well, Archith, thanks for joining us. Tell us about what it was like for you to be in Chennai for so many days and covering, an event of this proportion, this magnitude. You
never see something like this, I think, outside of India, especially from the United States, where I've grown up. Chennai is my hometown, but seeing the streets just empty, deserted. When we landed there Monday, we couldn't see anybody. It was hard to get an auto, see any commotion on the street. So that was just a very different atmosphere. From the airport to the hotel and the hospital, so many people waiting to see Amma, one last look. For many of them anticipating, but unfortunately it wasn't the news they expected. But the police were ready, they were prepared just in case riots broke out. But we have to commend them. They did such a good job. It was very well controlled. So tell us, you reached Chennai the very night that the big announcement was made. There was a lot of skepticism as well. People were saying maybe the announcement will come later. So a lot of police security was in place by the time you reached, but the announcement wasn't made, right? The announcement came around 11:30 that night, but I think right before we boarded, I took the flight at 5:30. We got some texts and activity on social media. I think one of the Tamil media said she had passed away. We saw messages of condolences already, but nothing officially, so we as the media cannot report that. But there were speculations that she might have even passed away earlier, possibly as early as Sunday when she had cardiac arrest. So there was a lot of confusion. Some people on the streets told me that they think that they didn't want to announce this earlier because of riots and because of violence. But when we got there, there wasn't any chaos. It was a very controlled crowd, and a lot of that has to be commended through security. They really made sure nothing got out of hand. All right, Archith, also it's interesting, Chennai being your hometown, but you haven't lived in India. You're a non-resident Indian, or what we call here as an NRI. How is this then, some of the other stories, how is this different, especially when you were looking at, because of a politician, schools are shut, shops are shut, and there was this massive security. What was it like? I don't think I've ever experienced that. I think, I have relatives in Chennai as well, and they asked me, were you okay? My parents were concerned. But as a journalist, our job is to get out there and tell people stories. And yes, it was crowded. Yes, it was chaotic. But you don't see this outside, the United States or Australia. I've never seen anything like this. If the politician, a celebrity, you never see this many people come out and support, and people wailing, crying. It just is an experience. It's something that I don't think I'll ever forget. But I think that also goes to show the love and support they have for Jayalalitha. They consider her as a god, as a savior. So that was just the, I guess, the difference of perspectives. And I spoke to some expats. They said, we just can't believe it. Why would the schools be shut down? Why wouldn't there be transportation? So I think just a cultural difference. Absolutely. Archith, do stay with us. Let's quickly show our viewers some of the immediate reactions from people in Chennai about Jayalalitha, her death, her health. Let's take a quick look.
No one can be like Amma in India. Tamil Nadu was very peaceful. There was no violence, riots, or disruptions. People came peacefully, saw her body, and then left. There was nothing for the public to be scared of. It wouldn't have been the same case for other leaders. There could have been broken buses or shops looted, but not the case for Amma. It was all out of respect. People went to the temple, they prayed, they did pujas, all for Jayalalitha. The whole state came to a standstill. We just can't take it. We're very sad by this. It's not just Tamil Nadu, but it's all of India. No one has seen a woman like Jayalalitha. She has done so many things for people. She's given goats, cows, laptops, medicines, cement. She's helped everyone in society, especially the poor.
day after that tearful farewell to Jayalalitha, or Amma as she was popularly known. Archith, you went to the popular Amma canteen over there. You know, it was shut for a day, but then it resumed work the very next day. Let's take a quick look at that first, and then I'm going to come to you for a little bit chat about what the Amma canteen is all about.
This is Amma Canteen at C.P. Ramaswamy Road in Chennai, an iconic landmark that Jayalalitha, or Amma as she was commonly known, opened back in 2013. So it's been about 3 years, and just take a look at this. It has got a delicacy of things. Idli for just 1 rupee, sambar rice, pongal rice, 5 rupees, curd rice, 3 rupees, chapatis for 3 rupees, just unbelievably low prices. So an affordable meal that she wanted to make sure that everybody, no matter what level of society they were in, could afford this. But of course, today this place now remains closed. Amma was a brand ambassador in not just food, but in all parts of society. She had her own brand of cement, Amma water bottles, Amma salt. So she really extended this through all parts of Tamil Nadu. People here really feeling the loss. And today, of course, the canteen now remains closed.
You know, canteens which are run
inside. More than 250 canteens such as this one, where people come every single day to get food like sambar rice, lemon rice and curd rice at a very affordable price. They were shut down throughout the state on Tuesday in observance of Jayalalitha. Many people come here, security guards, those from all different walks of life, and people appreciate what Jayalalitha or Amma has done for them. I did get a chance to speak to some of the people here who say that this type of opportunity, this type of program is something they will always remember Amma or Jayalalitha, really something to do the welfare for the people. They also tell me that this is something that has inspired other states to open up similar canteens such as this one. They are very thankful for what she's done for the people of Tamil Nadu and say that they will certainly miss her, but are appreciative of everything she's done.
Their leader must be no more, but people of Chennai and Tamil Nadu have shown that life must go on. Archith, it's quite unique to see this concept of canteen run by a particular politician and not, you know, by the central government or the Indian government in the state. Give us a little more sense into what these canteens are all about and what's so special about them.
I think what's special about them is the fact that they're open not just in Chennai, but all over the state of Tamil Nadu. As we just saw, you know, 250, she's opened them a few years ago, back in 2013, and everybody, it's not just for the poor people. People were security guards, people were stopping by. There's so many of them spread out, even in the city of Chennai. Such an affordable meal, 3 rupees for curd rice.
Could you and I walk into an
Any of us, I could walk in, I could eat. I didn't get a chance to eat because I said, listen, I'm a professional, I'm here to do my job. They offered us food, but I said this should go to the people that really need it. But, you know, it looked like any normal restaurant. There was food there, people were, not only does it help people, you know, to eat, but also it employs people, those who have to cook and prepare the food. So Amma, Jayalalitha doing service in more ways than one, and you could just see people when it was shut down, they were upset, but they were upset that she was gone, not that the canteen wasn't open.
Absolutely. And how big is one particular canteen, especially if you talk about Chennai, where you were there?
I think it just depends on the location. We went to 2 different locations. The first one was Tuesday, the day of the funeral. Obviously shut down, we saw the lock. The third one was, this was on Wednesday, this was in Santome. It was a little bit bigger, so I think it depends on the location, but as big as a hall, maybe as big as our studio. There's a corner of the kitchen, people walk in, they pay their token, whatever it is, you know, 5 rupees for sambar rice or pongal or lemon rice.
So easily about 50 to 70 people.
Maybe more, maybe more. About 100.
All right.
And I talked to some of those people, they were a little bit hesitant to go on camera, but I spoke to them in Tamil and they said, we easily get 1,000 a day in just one location. So you have 250 locations in the state. So think about how much reach that does. And they said, she's done so much welfare that you don't see politicians do. And the canteen is just like any restaurant, it's just more affordable.
All right, Archith, do stay with us. Now, for more than 2 months, the people of Chennai prayed and hoped for the best for Jayalalitha. On Tuesday, more than 1 million people headed to Rajaji Hall to pay their last respects, including the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and several other big politicians and actors. The streets of Chennai were empty, with shops closed and transport brought to a standstill. Here's how that looked.
We're here at Luz Corner in Mylapore in Chennai. It's a bustling intersection, usually filled with traffic and shoppers, but take a look. The streets are just empty. You see auto rickshaws, they're parked on the streets, maybe one or two that'll make its way up and down, but not a whole lot of traffic. And if there is, it's usually people on their bikes or people just trying to get from point A to point B. Even the shops here, many of the shops are closed. You don't see a whole lot of activity out here as the entire state of Tamil Nadu has a period of mourning for the next 7 days as a respect for the iconic Jayalalitha, a political icon here, a former actress. And it's not just in Tamil Nadu, even in other states in India, in Karnataka, Kerala, Bihar, and Uttarakhand. You've seen that 1 day of mourning for Jayalalitha. It just goes to show how she was well loved and appreciated all over the country, not just here in Tamil Nadu. Even out here, you know, you see a couple of people, maybe an auto rickshaw like this one just coming in, but very difficult to even see transportation. Just moments ago, we even saw a public transportation bus, but usually you see many of them up and down the streets of Chennai, but today you don't see that. An entire state here mourning the loss of Jayalalitha. Again, for the next 7 days, schools and colleges will be closed for the next 3 days as a token of respect.
All right, now, very few places in the world you would see such a response that we've seen throughout Tamil Nadu after Jayalalitha's death. Archith, talk to us about, how the culture of South India itself, stands apart from the rest of India in itself. The kind of love, the kind of devotion that people have for somebody like Jayalalitha. There are other politicians as well in the South who people regard as, demigods. And that is the reason perhaps we're seeing such support and such sort of a reaction.
And it's not just Jayalalitha, as you mentioned, Rajinikanth, many of these actors, when their movies come out, you see such a loyal fan base. And I think it was very smart of Jayalalitha. She didn't really want to go into acting or, politics. She wanted to be a lawyer. But she said, whatever job I'm given, I will do it and do it well. And she certainly did that with Collywood, being paired up with so many movies with MGR, her mentor, and then going into politics, the second female chief minister in a very male-dominated society. And I think especially in the South, you have to think about the timing of that. And she was able to do that and execute it so well. And again, to just walk through those streets like that, Mylapore is such a busy intersection. It's bustling with shoppers, people, and it was empty. You couldn't see an auto rickshaw, you couldn't get an Uber, a bus. So I think that also just goes to show the amount of respect that people had, and respect the fact that they didn't damage anything. Even the hotel that we were staying in, when we landed Monday night, they had covered it with a white sheet so people wouldn't come in. We had to go through extra security, but none of that happened. So someone did something right, and they say all of that is because of Amma's blessings.
All right, Archith, do stay with us. Now, let's take a look at the other, extreme, the contrast, where the next day, thousands of people lined the streets of Chennai to get one last glimpse of Amma. On Tuesday, they walked from Rajaji Hall all the way down to the Marina Beach, where Jayalalitha was buried, not cremated, next to her mentor, MGR. Let's take a look.
It's been a somber day here in the state of Tamil Nadu as actress turned politician Jayalalitha died on Monday night. The entire city of Chennai coming to a standstill. Shops were closed. There were no buses or auto rickshaws to be seen anywhere. It looked like a ghost town. Throughout the day, people gathered one by one, paying their last respects at Rajaji Hall, where Jayalalitha's body was on display. Actors, politicians coming to pay their final respects for Amma. Then later on in the afternoon, a massive procession coming down this street, ending here at Marina Beach, where Jayalalitha's body was placed to rest at MGR Memorial. She worked closely with MGR, starring with many movies, a mentor. Now Amma, who has left such a legacy here, has done so much for the people of Chennai. Amma's canteen that opened a few years ago, serving affordable meals. Amma's medicine, Amma's water, Amma's salt, Amma's cement, really catering to all different social circles of Tamil Nadu. The big question will now be, what will happen to the future of the ADMK party? Will they be able to continue the legacy that she left behind? That is the big question that people are wondering. Tamil Nadu will observe 7 days of mourning. Many states in India, including Kerala, Karnataka, Bihar, and Uttarakhand, also observing 1 day of mourning. December the 6th will be declared a public holiday to commemorate Jayalalitha or Amma.
All right, Archith, give us a sense of who MGR was. We do know he was Jayalalitha's mentor. She worked in many movies with him, but we also saw that Jayalalitha chose to be buried and not cremated, just like MGR, which is something, that surprised everybody when that happened. Give us a sense into who MGR was and what's this with Jayalalitha asking to be buried and not cremated.
Well, MGR was such a big actor in the South, in Tamil Nadu, in many, movies, and he was a big star. and he went into politics in a very parallel way that Jayalalitha did. I think she sort of was inspired by him, and he wanted a mentor. You know, once his health was failing, he said, I need someone to continue my legacy, and that's where Jayalalitha came in. She served 6 terms, and that says a lot for a female, especially in that time, to serve as the state's chief minister.
In a patriarchal society.
Absolutely. It's such a male-dominated society, and she didn't have any experience in politics, but she came in and she ruled it so well, helping out so many people. As the question when it goes to burial versus cremation in Hindu rites, you know, most of the times the body is cremated because the soul is still out there. But we asked people about that. I think the reason for that was Jayalalitha wanted to be buried next to MGR, her idol, her mentor. At one point, she wanted to marry him. So interestingly, perhaps maybe they weren't meant to be together on earth, but maybe in their next life. But another reason is we saw those crowds coming in, so many thousands of people. We actually got up above a building right opposite Rajaji Hall. There was a place where the body was being stored. The politicians, the MLAs, the actors all came in. We got up right to the top and we shot down in a bird's eye view.
Right.
And I think that's why they wanted to see her body being moved. People were throwing flowers from the trucks. People were chanting. You saw the police. There wasn't commotion, but there were thousands of people. But most people that talked to me said this was big, but it wasn't as big as MGR. Because there could be a couple of reasons. There wasn't as much internet or mobile phones there. Now everybody can sit at home and watch it and have the same, access. But that was the difference. But in terms of burial versus cremation, I think one last look to take a look at Amma. And she was dressed up in her favorite green sari as well. So they wanted to, she looked very peaceful. She looked like she was sleeping. They wanted to see her, and that's exactly what they got to do.
All right. Let's move on now. Who was Jayalalitha? What was she like before she shot to fame? What is next for her party? Archith, you spoke to an author and journalist as well, Seshadri Ravindranath. Let's listen into some part of that interview.
There's a void in the party. We know Paneer Selvam is going to step up and be the next chief minister. What all does he have to do to continue what she's done to serve the people of Tamil Nadu?
He's already the chief minister. He has to continue with his schemes. I don't think he has a choice. But see, Jayalalitha understood very well that you have to have GDP growth and economic development to take care of social welfare schemes. So whether he is going to be able to attract investment and, make sure that infrastructure is put in place, I can't crystal gaze. These are the things he has to do.
There's also some speculation or concern about what's going to happen to her residence at Poe's Garden. Things that, people are still waiting. We don't know the answers to that yet. And her assets, the inheritance. As a journalist or someone that has, covered Tamil Nadu, what is your personal opinion on that? What should happen?
Why be fretting about it? It's her house. The estate is hers. If she left a will, it just goes to whoever she left it to. I can't understand this speculation at all.
All right, that was Seshadri Ravindranath. Archith, quite interesting because a lot of people that we also spoke to in the studio right after the news broke out, everybody praised Jayalalitha. Not one person said that, she was a, said anything negative about Jayalalitha, despite the fact that she was a political figure.
Right.
And she has her, number of rivals in politics as well, the number one being DMK Supremo M. Karunanidhi.
Right, even her son, Stalin. A lot of people, took time to offer their condolences, pray for her. Again, as many people in the public just said, she was a god on earth, the first, one of the first female chief ministers. When we talked to Sushila, she knew her before she shot to fame, so we didn't get to hear all of that interview, but she said she was a brilliant student. She always stood out. So no matter what she did, she executed it well, which clearly we can see how she's done that with Amma Canteen, the legacy that she leaves behind. But there is certain controversies that are still coming up that are not entirely out in the media. Speculations about, why wasn't there more transparency of what happened in the hospital? She was there in the hospital 74, 75 days.
Yeah.
She went in with a fever, but there wasn't a whole lot given. Karunanidhi actually said, we want proof. How does she look like? What is her condition? None of that came out. And again, we talked to a medical expert. They say that's a doctor and a patient relationship. Nobody else can do that. But there was also speculation that maybe was she poisoned to get her wealth. So a lot of rumors still circulating, just like her death. What time did she actually die? A notable actress, Gautami, wrote a letter, in fact, to Narendra Modi, saying that needs to be looked into. What happened those last days that she spent in the hospital. So even though it's over, the story is just beginning.
Right, and as one of the politicians said to us over the phone line reacting to Jayalalitha's death, she said one word to describe her would be that she was an enigma. So that was quite intriguing at that point, how people looked at Jayalalitha. Very quickly, let's just take our viewers through what was the sequence of events like for a reporter to be covering for us here in the studio. Jayalalitha, she lived from 1968 to 2016. That means she was 68 years old at the time of her death. She died Monday evening. Jayalalitha spent 74 days in the hospital. That's over 2 months, admitted to Apollo Hospital, Chennai, with a fever, as Archith just mentioned, on the 22nd of September. Things worsened when Jayalalitha suffered a cardiac arrest on Sunday. She was being treated at the hospital in Chennai. She wanted to become a lawyer first. She opened up various canteens, about 250 Amma canteens all over the state of Tamil Nadu. She started selling a product called Amma salt, Amma water, medicine, cements, mostly for the poor people, something that was available at affordable rates. Overall, she served 6 terms as the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu. She was re-elected in May 2016. She was the 2nd female Chief Minister. Actors and politicians visited her at the Rajaji Hall. She was buried next to her mentor, MGR, at a location at Marina Beach in Tamil Nadu. The state declared 7 days of mourning after her death. The state of Kerala, Karnataka, Bihar, Uttarakhand as well. In fact, Archith, coming to you now, they're talking about speculation. There is a lot of talk going about within the political circles, within the media as well, about what happens to the AIADMK now.
That's the big million-dollar question. Everybody wants to know what will happen to Paneer Selvam. Will he be able to continue what Jayalalitha started? Will he be able to win the trust of the people? The people that we spoke to, many of them were crying, just visibly upset, saying that, you know, she did so many things. She gave goats and animals to farmers to help them with their livelihood. She gave kids clothes for them to wear on their back. If somebody was kidnapped, if there's any kind of crime, she would immediately contact and solve that case. One of the reasons why Chennai is relatively a much safer city compared to the other cities in India. So she'd done so much and she set the bar so high. So now the future is sort of a big question mark. What will happen? Because we also know the ADMK doesn't have any political allegiance as the DMK does. And what will happen to her state? There's rumors that it may become a museum. Who will inherit her wealth? She's been estranged from her family. Who gets
Sasikala also, remember, that she could also play a big part in the days to come, isn't it, in Tamil Nadu politics?
She could play a big part, but whether she'll win the trust of the people, people don't know that. Jayalalitha and Sasikala had a falling out, then she brought her back in. There was a little bit of a tiff between both of them, so that is still, we don't know what she's written in that will, how easy it is to change that, so lots of unanswered questions that we'll certainly have to observe and watch, but I'm sure even here for all of us, it was an experience, happening so late in the night and quite chaotic, both in the field and in the studio.
Absolutely. In fact, there was so much uncertainty that we didn't know, when the news will break and what is the plan of action. So we had to be ready at all times. Many of us were rushed from home back to work just to break the news, because once the news came in that the security was being, beefed up around the hospital and her house route, and once the doctors really left the Apollo Hospital, Chennai, things started to become clearer. That was about, I think, 11:30 p.m. at night. Once the doctors left, things started to become more and more clear as to it could be any moment now that the announcement will be made. And it was, the timing also played a very key role, Archith. We talked about this.
Exactly, the violence, maybe that's why they waited till that late. When we got there, the crowds were already built, the cops were there, the police, everybody was ready. It was just more, when will that announcement came in? Out of respect, we also didn't want to announce anything despite rumors on social media until we got a statement from Apollo Hospital, which came at 11:30. But we were there, people were lining up. It was chaotic, but it was also a sense of grief and mourning. And the state, many parts of India, not just Tamil Nadu, will never forget Amma.
Absolutely. On that note, we'll wrap Reporter's Take for today. Thanks so much, Archith, for joining us and sharing your experience with our viewers here on the channel. We're taking a very short break, but news and updates continue in just a bit. Don't go anywhere.